All right, since you were here, what all has happened? We had the knife intifada that began on Rosh Hashanah. So it's been, what, about 8 months
7
now.
months, yeah.
Yeah. What's your
Right.
take on that?
Well, as it was happening, as it was unfolding, there were people in the media that were saying, oh, we're on a third intifada. And I kept saying, no, 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 it's not going to happen. And I kept asking myself, is this wishful thinking? Because who wants to go back to where it was in 2000, between 2000 and 2004 when things were, remember,
Bad.
the buses that were blowing up and the cafes that were blowing up every other every other day. So no one wants to go back with that. So I kept saying, is this wishful thinking, Sondra, or are you being this astute political analyst? But I was convinced, and I think I was right, that the Palestinian community, or Arabs living amongst us in East Jerusalem and Judea and Samaria, really don't have the stomach for another intifada. That doesn't mean they've turned into Zionists. But what we did see in this whole episode was individuals, very often very young people, teenagers and people in their 20s, who would, on their own, not because they were part of a terrorist cell, not because they were part of a terrorist organization, on their own would, take a knife in their backpack and on their way home stop, off at a bus stop and knife somebody. And over we saw this as being individuals, and in fact the intelligence services saw that it was very much being encouraged by social media. So you have some of these very extremists getting on Facebook or some of these other vehicles and encouraging people, giving them ideas, telling them this is how you make a bomb, this is how you hide your knife, this is what you can use something from your kitchen and you can kill a Jew. And that was kind of riling up what was going on. But both the terrorist organizations and the Palestinian Authority, although the Palestinian Authority has some really rabid stuff that they're saying about Israel, they were not interested in a full-scale intifada, because if you look at what's going on in the last 10 years in the Palestinian Authority, their economic situation has improved tremendously. As terrorism has reduced, Israel has been able to loosen up, and there's almost no roadblocks anymore. And the roads are open and people can travel freely to and from. Just from where I travel, in some of the roads in Judea and Samaria, I have seen an enormous increase in the number of Arab cars that are driving on the roads, in the nature of the cars. I mean, we're looking at new cars, expensive cars, lots more of them. That in and of itself is an indication that they're getting wealthier, that they're we know there's new shopping centers, there's a lot of new economic opportunity that has been developing in Judea and Samaria. And I think something has happened there in that society where, I'm not talking about the heads of the terrorist organizations necessarily, but your ordinary person there in society is saying, you know what? The people who were hurt most by the last intifada was us, the Arabs. Now, with things quieter, we're doing better. Who wants to get rid of that? Who wants to destroy that? And I think the terrorist organizations understand that they don't have the people behind them for a new terrorist intifada. And perhaps the original attacks, I know, for example, the attack on the Henkin family, which took place on the holiday of Sukkot, this family that was driving back from Elon Moreh was murdered. It was a terrible thing. The parents were murdered. The children were in the car. I don't know if you remember that situation.
Yeah.
That was done by Hamas, okay? So Hamas, I'm assuming, after that attack, would have expected mass riots, the people going into the streets, down with Israel. It never happened. And so that was their best signal that the people are not looking at violence, not because they love us, but because they love themselves. And that's a good thing.
If you enjoyed this clip, please feel free to check out the full version in the link located in the description panel below. Please be sure to subscribe to our channel. You can also connect with us on Facebook and Twitter. As always, help yourself to the diverse array of teachings located on this YouTube channel or on our website at glc.us.com.